you for staying. All right. Subsequently, people have had issues on getting the certificates of occupancy of their residence or their land before even building. Then some after building. There are lots of issues that come with it. Is it yours? Do you have the certificate of occupancy and all the issues that come with it? Well, on the program this morning, we will be taking a look at that and the procedure to acquire. I have the director, deemed right, Ministry of Lands and Housing, Prince ADEDURO AKINBOLA. It's good to have you on the program this morning.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
All right, let's look at the issue of certificates of occupancy and its procedures. Let's start from the procedures.
Yes.
How can we obtain it?
Thank you very much. Um, the first thing you need to do is to get your documents ready. First document that is required is the survey plan, then the evidence of ownership, your tax clearance certificate, and then if the applicant is a corporate entity, you'll be requested to present certificate of incorporation. So when you come with all these documents, your fee will be assessed, and then you obtain payment advice from the ministry. You make payments, and then your application will be published. After 21 days of publication, if there is no objection and there is no caveats placed on your application, then the inspection will be carried out, and then it will be approved. After the approval, the stamp duty will be carried out as well. Then your title will be registered and it will be issued to you.
All right, let's look at situations where people do not get it before going on to build houses on wherever. Will it be a problem afterwards?
Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem, but it's advisable that you get your C of O before you start building. Presently in the state, we have a policy. Without your C of O, you can't, approve your building plan. It is the building plan that will guide you, that will guide the constructors on how to develop the property. So it's advisable you have your C of O before you commence development. However, we have seen situations where people build without C of O. But if that is your case, you can still come forward to process your title.
Let's do a sort of a post-mortem. You were here, I mean, when I say you, I mean your ministry was here 3 weeks ago or thereabouts, and you talked about the benefits of obtaining C of O. You talked about the dangers inherent in not having the document. I'd like to know, between then and now, has there been any appreciable difference between the patronage of your ministry by the people? I mean, people coming to get the document. Can we say they are now more enlightened? What exactly has been your experience since then?
Thank you very much. There has been, a good response. Now, for example, why we are doing this campaign is because many people have fallen into traps, going to wrong places to have their titles processed. Some do not know where to go. Some even give money to wrong people to help them process title. But since we have started this campaign, we have seen a lot of improvement. People now call, us, they know where to go, they see us more often, and then we are there to attend to all their plights.
My colleague asked the question the other time.
Yes.
I like to know further.
Yes.
What will happen? You did say that now you cannot even have your building plan without first having your C of O. But in the past, some people would have had their way. Now they've built, they are even living there. Does that mean they cannot still obtain C of O? If they want to obtain C of O after they now have built on the land, what will be the process?
You can still obtain your C of O. I think I said that. You can obtain your C of O. The procedure is this. After you've submitted the documents which I earlier mentioned, you may be required, to submit your plan, your building plan.
Okay.
Then your title will still be processed. But the danger there is this: if you do not have your C of O, it is dangerous, because you don't know what can happen in future. What if there is a litigation on your...
Does it affect the building already erected?
No, it doesn't affect the building.
That's the point. Yeah. So if it does not affect the building erected, will the person have to bring a picture of the building already erected on the land?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. You bring the picture. But if there is a contravention, because we have designated areas for residential, commercial, and other uses, if we notice that you have built where you are not supposed to build, then the Physical and Urban Development Planning Authority, they will, look into it and see, how to work things out for you. But what I'm going to emphasize is, whenever you have your piece of land, it's better you title it first before,
There's a key point in what you just talked about. Yes. Someone has built in a place,
yes,
where it shouldn't have built.
Yes.
Perhaps a commercial area.
Yeah.
You've gone to erect a residential building there, and you said the Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development will find a way around it for such a person. Yes. Does that mean there's nothing to fear, or people should be afraid to come out since they're already built?
That's not what I'm saying. If it's a contravention, that is, you have done something that is illegally, that is not right, that is illegal, your building can be pulled down.
Okay.
Your building can, because before you put up any structure on the surface of the earth, there must be an approval.
So it is better to know on time now.
Yes.
So that you don't just get your building pulled down at any moment.
Yes.
Now, let's do a recap on the procedure of getting the C of O. Yeah. I'll give you an hypothetical case. I am, as husband, we bought a piece of land in our name because of whatever reason. Now we want to do the C of O. Yes. Am I the one to file for tax clearance, or should we be the one to file for tax clearance, or we bring our tax clearances as civil servants that we are?
Yeah, thank you. You see, the issue of joint ownership, that's what you're talking about.
Very well.
Yeah. You are two different individuals. So you will bring your own, and then she will bring our own tax clearance certificate.
For one land?
Yes, for that piece of land. You see, we are not, other documents will still be a single document, like your survey plan, evidence of ownership. But since you are two different individuals, we want to be sure that both of you are responsible citizens of the country. Yes, so you have to bring your tax clearance certificate, and she has to bring her own as well.
That would like to know how they should go about it. For instance, I'm not in Nigeria. I sent the got land for me. I want my documents properly filed. Yeah. How do I go about it?
Yeah, thank you. Now, the law permits you to appoint an attorney.
Okay.
If you are not physically present, for land transaction and all the rest. So once you appoint your attorney, the attorney will there is what we call power of attorney, which will be donated to you, to representative. Once we see that instrument, then we will definitely deal with that person, and then we will assess the other documents with it.
What are the other documents such a person need to have? Yeah. For instance, in the hypothetical case, I am not a resident here. I do not pay tax here. So how do I go about it?
Yeah, thank you. Now, the tax laws, under the tax law, wherever you work, you are expected to be paying tax.
Very well.
Even if you are not within Ondo State. You can still show us evidence of payment of, your tax clearance certificate wherever you are. So once we see that the ODRS, the Ondo State Internal Revenue Service, they have a structure in place that enables them to verify the authenticity of the documents you have brought. So we forward your document to them. Once they verify it, that truly you are a taxpayer wherever you are, your instruments will be processed.
All right, let's look at the issue of validity. How long is the certificate valid? The CFO.
The CFO. Thank you very much. Conventionally, it should be for 99 years.
99 years.
99 years. You know, the concept is this. Now, the CFO is not giving you a freehold over, you know, that piece of land. The Land Use Act says the land within the state is vested in the governor of the state. So nobody owns any land again. So whenever you're given that statutory right, it's like you are a leaseholder. You understand? So it runs for 99 years. After 99 years, your interest reverts back to the state government.
What happens if I still need the land?
And then you reapply. That is if you are still
Because
on the
I was
surface
actually
of the
trying to
earth
look at the
After that 99 years.
But sincerely, you have successors in title. You know, if your title devolves on maybe your children, and they can use that instrument as their root of title. You know, to apply for another statutory right. Yes.
So what we're saying is, if, for instance, I inherited a particular land from my sister,
Yes.
and my sister has been using the land for, maybe she also inherited from our mother,
Yes.
and then for well over 80 years already, I've now used the land for 19 years.
Yeah.
So
And
it
the
expires,
reasons-
so I have to reapply.
Yes.
Now, in this case, we must therefore have the succession documents,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. Yes.
Showing that it was transferred from one person
Yes,
to another.
yes,
You recognize all of
We
those too.
recognize all.
Okay. So
Now,
what is the place of family receipt in land acquisition? Is that tenable in your ministry in the processing of CFO?
Yes, it is tenable. You see, once the document, the evidence of ownership that we request people to, once it has, you know, all the basic ingredients of contract, we can, you know, accept it. You know, if the vendor is well, if you see the name of the vendor, the name of the vendee, the consideration, the date of purchase, then if the parcel of land is well described, you understand. You don't just say our road. We are in our road. You understand. So if it's not a vague
Description.
yeah, we recognize it.
Right now, a few months ago, some people along the express had issues that the state government said they were going to demolish their building, some for not having the CFO. Now, when we talk about demolition of buildings without CFO, does it mean that they didn't have, like you rightly said, the certificate of passing it from one generation to the other? Or because, you know, I asked you earlier about building without getting the certificate of occupancy. Now, after so many years, they are faced with the issue of demolition. How did they arrive at that point?
Yeah. Maybe you're talking about when government wants to acquire land for maybe
Yes,
for
and
public
people,
interest.
yes, okay, yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you. You see, the law says if your statutory right is being revoked for overriding public interest, that you will be entitled to compensation. That is, the
Okay.
claimant will be entitled to compensation. Now, the law somehow, you know, is silent about people without C of O. You know, in Lagos, it happened at a time when, you know, government said without C of O, no compensation. They only paid people with statutory right. But in Ondo State, we don't do that, because I don't know where you got that information from. Everybody, you know, has been taken care of
Now,
in terms of compensation.
okay,
Yes.
you're talking about compensation. These
Yes.
particular people said they were not compensated because the land now belongs to government. So if the land now belongs to the government, why is government compensating them?
Now, compensation is not on the land. Now, the law says you'll be compensated based on the improvement you have thereon. So now government owns land. Even if you look at how we, you know, work out our compensation, the compensation payable in case of overriding public interest, we don't consider land value. We only consider the improvement thereon. So it is whatever you have on it, like your structure, if you have economic crops thereon, or there is an evidence that you've carried out reclamation work on the land. Yes, all these are, like adding value to the land. So you'll be compensated for such things.
All right, let's look at the temporary occupancy. Do we have certificate for that too? And do people come for it?
Temporary
Yes.
occupancy. Well, I don't think I've ever heard of
It does not exist
Yeah.
here. Because I was thinking that when people, for the whole 99 years, some people might
Yes.
want to just get something for a short term. Maybe say, okay, I want to just spend maybe like 30 years in this particular environment.
Okay, I understand. Like
Listen.
temporary occupation license. Yes, it is lawful to grant it. However, we have discovered that people do abuse it. Once government use you a temporary occupation license, people can start using it things that they are not supposed to use it for, and
Okay.
it may even be difficult for governments to recover such property at the end of the day. So we used to have that kind of program in Ondo State, but we have stopped it. If we are granting statutory rights, let it be a statutory right, and it will run for 99 years.
Let's talk about the question of ownership,
Yes.
especially of government estates. I'll give you instances. Shagari Estate, for instance, there has been time that you did talk about selling off the place for people who are interested in buying. I don't know if you are aware of that. And then some would say, yes, it is government area, but it is our father's father's father that has that land. So where comes the question of ownership in government estates? Have they not been taken over by government for public interest? Where comes the issue of ownership, the question of ownership of the land by so-called families?
You see, when government acquires, well, what you're saying has become an issue in the state, because the state government, both states and federal, they have land banks, all over the state, and these land banks are meant for future development, and things like that. However, indigents, or let me say, the communities and families, they have been coming, they have been encroaching on these parcels of land. We still have our records anyway. If we see such application, if it falls within government acquired area, we don't process title. Yes.
Let's look at the pricing.
Yes.
What does it really cost
Yes.
to get a certificate of occupancy?
Thank you. It depends on the size of the property, then the use as well.
Okay.
If it's residential, the price will be low.
Low,
Compared to,
like how much?
yes, I will explain.
Okay.
Compared to commercial, industrial, then agric is the least. You understand? Now, if your parcel of land is not up to 1,000 square meters, what you pay 100,000, minimum of 100,000 to get your COO processed.
But if it's for something bigger,
If it's then you pay more.
more like how much? Because it seems you're avoiding that.
I'm not
more.
avoiding it. You see, let me, because I don't have the
Okay, the listen.
the fee order here.
So it is safe to say that the use of a land determines how much the CFO would be.
Yes.
Okay, then.
Now, is there
The
any
use and the size.
The use and the
And the
size.
size.
Yes.
1 plot, 2 plots,
plots,
1 hectare, and all of that. Okay. So how do people get to contact you to get further details as far as this issue of a pricing and cost is concerned?
Yeah. Now
I know it is not negotiable.
It's not. It's not. You see, once you
You're
come
not
to
buying.
once
you're
you
not buying
come to
Pepe.
once you come to our office, your fee will be calculated.
Okay.
You have to come with your documents, like I said earlier. so that they can calculate your fee for you. Yes.
I'm wondering, is there a difference between title deed and the C of O?
Okay. Thank you. When you say deed, all these are just
Terminologies.
Terminologies,
yeah.
okay.
Deed simply means agreement, you know,
Okay.
between two parties. So when you say title deed, you have the deed of assignment, you have the deed of legal mortgage, you have deed of release, you know, you have deed of sublease, and all the rest. Even the C of O2 is also a deed, because it's like a contract between the state government and the holder of that title. So title deed covers so many instruments.
The original
of
owner
which-
to is it a temporary owner now for 99 years?
All right, Prince ADEDURO AKINBOLA, he is the Director Dean, right? Ministry of Lands and Housing. We must thank you profoundly for coming on the program this
Thank you
morning.
very much. Yes.
All right, let's take another break. We'll be right back.